Hi, my name is Franz Rügamer.
And I'm Avina Graefe, and we are the producers of the AniFilm AniPlay code red.
Hey, I'm Matthias Strasser, and I was the director on this project.
Hi, my name is Sofia Strunden, and I'm the director of the play part.
Hi, I'm Philipp Dörrer. I'm the CG supervisor and FX artist.
Hi, my name is Gätzschmann, and I was an FX artist for this project.
In the AniFilm AniPlay, we basically have the challenge of developing an IP from the start to finish in 4 months. This includes a cinematic part where you usually create a short film and an interactive media, either installation. We decided to do a game, which is happening in VR. And a bit more about our IP.
Our IP is what if rats are responsible for everything unexplainable?
For us, one of the bigger challenges was to coordinate a team that had basically 2 subdivisions, the play part and the film part. Avina took over for the film, and I was a bit more focused on the game part.
After a few projects dealing with rather depressing topics, we were eager to create something funny again, and the goal was to have fun while making it as well.
For me, it was a very big challenge because I have never produced a game, and learning about what the process is and what things are and aren't possible in this kind of development was just, very, very new, but I think in the end I understood it a bit better and was able to help my team a bit more.
I think we redefined our roles throughout the process, or we were kind of fluid in what we were doing. All of us took more than what we were expected to do in our positions. None of us had really experience in making a game. How can we connect the game and the film? How can there be a good visible connection for the player and the users of our game and the audience of our movies?
For the layout process, we started doing a camera in Maya scaled down by 100%, so that we could import it into Houdini without getting any value mishaps. We had to create a huge dune environment, therefore we used the height field tool within Houdini and created a setup that would allow us to scatter dunes over a large area.
During pre-production phase, we had really big goals. We didn't want any violence to be reproduced. We wanted it to be technologically innovative. We wanted it to be a multiplayer. We wanted to integrate VR. We would have loved to integrate haptic input, like a non-conventional kind of input medium.
Next to directing, my main focus was creating the characters. I had a lot of help from Melanie. She was the great concept artist on our project. Together we tried to find those characters sort of in between stylized, cartoony and realistic. For the fur I looked for rat's hair as a reference, but there was less colorful and less variety in the fur. So I looked at opossum hair. They have quite a lot of white hairs in between and black endings.
So for creating our effects, we went grocery shopping in the first place and got some nachos and some cheese sauce in order to create some reference, which ended up being really, really helpful. So yeah, we had a lot of fun doing the reference shoot, using a straw to blow air into the cheese sauce and creating cheese bubbles, and filming then in slow motion, throwing out a lot of nachos to create references for the nacho RBD sims. So it was really fun.
At the moment, I still prefer the Maya X-Gen grooming tools to the Houdini ones. And together with Levin, we tried to create this workflow to get the groom to Houdini.
We realized all of a sudden, okay, we have lots of good framing ideas or visions, but what is really missing is the story part. So what is this game based on? It was really interesting for Simon and me to brainstorm and wrap our heads around, like, what is a cool combination? What is a cool input? Franz, our producer, helped us a lot throughout the first months, where we were still trying to find like a subject of the game, like what could be the characters, dynamics, also to find the connection to the film at all times, like what could be elements of the film that we could implement in the game, how far do we want to distance ourselves from the film, how far can we distance from the film, and what elements of the film are we taking to implement.
Since we knew that color management would be very important in this project, we started really early on with some research and then decided to go for an old ACES config, ACES 1.0.1. The reason for that was because it was really safe regarding the colors we wanted to use, and we managed to go through the entire project without any color complications. For our project, we decided to use Solaris Arnold, which was at the time not as ready as we thought it would be. And we had to set up all our AOVs on our own. But somehow we managed to work it out in the end. But we still had to use Karma to some extent. And there Solaris came in quite handy because it's easier to switch back and forth without destroying your lighting setup, so that was kind of helpful.
Since in the beginning we decided that we want to use Arnold for rendering, we initially set up the volcano to be also rendered in Arnold, and then ran into the problem that we also had to render the ocean, which didn't really work out in Arnold that easily. Our solution for that was to split the scene and render the ocean in Karma, which worked quite nicely because of the great integration of Houdini's ocean tools with Karma that allowed us to really easily composite both render engines together in one image.
For our compositing workflow, we decided on a subtractive workflow, and that allowed us to do a little bit of relighting and regrading in comp. And it also gave us the flexibility we needed without having to do a full beauty rebuild. For the relighting and compositing, we used a gizmo that I created that was able to fetch AOVs that we from render layers that we set up prior to that, so that we could like assign new values to lights that were already rendered and kind of like dial in the lights that we created.
I have been directing fellow students like in collaborative works or projects, but now it was a really new situation and it was a big learning. Being in the position of first finding a vision, then having it, being sure about it, but also having to communicate it again, and communicate it in a way where you already filter what is important for this part, working on this particular thing, to know about it. And where do you want to give them access to maybe re-elaborate on if it's important, where does it maybe not even need that access because it's just a decision and everything else in this short amount of time would make the process longer. It's a really sensitive line, I think, between directing and how you communicate with people, is giving them the feeling of wanting to do that, also including their points of view, including their opinions, can always add on to make a product that is just more like coming from a collective point.
It was really, really fun to work with this team because we shared a lot of similar interests and we were always able to help each other very quickly and also learn a lot from each other. So that was definitely something that made this project really, really valuable for me, not only professionally but also personally. And yeah, I would love to work with this team again.
So one of the wonderful things about this work was the helpfulness and the willingness to help from everybody in the team, despite of what subpart of our project it concerned. I think the biggest challenge for us in the beginning was to actually find a common vision, because here the specialty or the tricky part of this program is that you don't start with a common vision and then find people to join your team, but you get a team of people that don't really know each other yet. Then you have to get to know each other and also find an artistic topic that you can make into a film and a game at the same time. And this is a very challenging process, but it was a challenge that we enjoyed a lot with all the heights and lows of the production phase. And in the end, I think we're all very, very happy to have been part of this. And I hope you enjoy our products.
Have fun.
Have fun.